Shalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, peace be upon you, is our song, which one amongst many that we use to welcome in Shabbat, especially the angels of Shabbat, the angels of peace that we hope come to be with us this weekend. We're going to continue now with a moment of silence to help us transition into Shabbat, out of the work week, and into this holy time of rest, relaxation, and community. We continue quietly. And as we enter into Shabbat as a kahila, as a community, this can be our chance to check in with one another. So if anyone would like to share anything, any highlights from the past week or that you're anticipating in the week ahead, please feel free to say, you can shout it out loud. Okay. Highlight of my week, Shabbat. I love it. Actually, I take that back. Yesterday, Ezra turned 6. So that and Shabbat. Very nice. Okay, we're going to continue on page 20 in our prayer books with Lecha Dodi. Please sing louder than me. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tifer v'letila. Lecha Dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. We continue on verse 9, welcoming Shabbat. Bo'oi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha uv'tzoala, toch emunei am segula. Bo'oi chala, Lecha Dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please remain standing. We continue on page 26 with the Chati Kaddish. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabba, Ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Bagala, uv'izman kariv, Ve'imeru, Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabba Mevorach, La'alam u'la'almei almaya, Yitbarach, ve'ishtabach, Vitba'ar vitromam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar vitale vitalal, Shmei dekudasha prichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran be'alma, ve'imeru. Amen. Page 28. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamavorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. On page 30, we continue with Ma'ariv Aravim. Before we do, Ma'ariv Aravim, those two words in Hebrew, share the same root. And this is one of the hard things about translation is that there can be features of a language that don't translate well. So for example, the last line in English on page 30, it says, "Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening." That is more or less exactly what it means, except it doesn't capture the nuance of the language. Ma'ariv, aravim, those two words, they sound alike because they come from the same root, as I said. Evening in English, we don't think about it so much usually, but the root of evening in English, not in Hebrew, in English, is like even, an even mixture of something. Evening is an equal amount, an even mixture of day and night. It's not quite day, it's not quite night, it's an even amount of both. And that is the root of evening and how it came to be part of that word. In Hebrew, our Erev, evening, doesn't come from the same root as an even amount of something. It comes from the word mixture. So, Ma'ariv Aravim, God who mixes the mixture, meaning the mixture of day and night. And it's got that nice sound to it. Ma'ariv Aravim sounds, those two words sounding so similar to one another because they share the same root. It's this in between period, not quite one, not quite the other. Not the middle of the day where we're going on about whatever busies us during the day, our tasks, our errands, our work, but not yet nighttime, time to lie down and go to bed. It's this in between period. We're winding down. In this case, we're not just winding down from our day, we're winding down from our week, heading into Shabbat. We're in this in between period with a full day of Shabbat ahead, a full amount of rest ahead of us, but we're just now entering into it. God who mixes the week into Shabbat, God who mixes day into night. We continue with Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim Bechokma Poteach She'arim Uvitvuna Meshane Itim Umachalif Et Hazmanim Umisader Et HaKochavim B'mishmerotehem Barakir Kirtzono Borei Yom V'Laila Golel Or Mipnei Choshech V'Choshech Mipnei Or Mavir Yom Umevi Laila, Mavdil Bein Yom Uvein Laila, Adonai Tzivaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 32, our prayer, thanking God for loving us by teaching us Torah. We read together. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Please rise for the Shema, page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha vidibarta baham bishivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvikumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot ben enecha uchtavtam Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lehiyot lachem lelohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. Please be seated. We read together an interpretation of the V'ahavta on page 37. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 40. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze Eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifada Adonai et Yaakov, kolo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Page 43, in the middle of the page, we read together an interpretation of Hashkivenu, a prayer that we say in the evening or at nighttime, asking for God's shelter and protection until we wake tomorrow. Page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth, for with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Please rise. We continue on page 46 with the Amidah. Adonai, open up my lips. Adonai, sifatai tiftachu fi yagita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher chastei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Please be seated. Page 55, we read together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. May this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha v'yirah na'avod. Page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul. May the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, mevarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom. We continue now with silent prayer. Yehiyu liratzon imre fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Tsuri Adonai Tsuri Vegoali, Vegoali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Continue on page 253 in our prayer books, page 253. Here we find our Mishaberach prayer for healing. If anybody would like to share a name with us, someone that you're thinking of who's not well, I invite you to raise your hand, and as I come around the room, you may share their name out loud. Carol. Thank you. Linda. Thank you. Aaron. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Mishaberach Avotenu V'Imotenu, may the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored, their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen. Together. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This week, synagogues don't have Torah portions, but if they did, this week's Torah portion could be in the running because the name of the Torah portion is Vayakel, which is the verb form of the name of our temple, Kehillah. Kehillah means community, and Vayakel means make a community, which is what Moses is trying his best to do, sometimes with limited success. However, this week it's both Vayakel, which is at the end of the book of Exodus, but this week, this Shabbat is also known as another kind of Shabbat, Shabbat Parah, which literally translates to cow Shabbat. More formally referred to the Shabbat of the red heifer. But a red heifer is a kind of cow, and Parah literally just means cow, so it's cow Shabbat. There was a ritual during the time of the temple that in the period leading up to Passover, and we're leading up to Passover right now. By the way, if you haven't RSVP'd yet to the Temple Seder, RSVP to the Temple Seder. It's going to be really good this year. But leading up to Passover, we have Shabbat Parah, this cow Shabbat, because in the time of the temple, the red heifer was used as part of a ritual to purify the entire community, and we wanted to be pure before Passover, not specifically for our Passover Seders that we have now, but for the rituals in the temple that they used to have that we haven't had in 2,000 years, meaning the sacrifice of the Paschal lamb and so on and so on. And I got to be honest with you, it's a really weird ritual. Let me go over the theory first. The theory is this. In Jewish law, contact with a dead body renders one ritually impure. And in order to become ritually pure again, after having become ritually impure, one needs to undergo, you guessed it, a ritual. This is the ritual. The problem with that kind of impurity in the eyes of the Torah, though, was that not only did coming in contact with a deceased body render one ritually impure, but coming into contact with a living person who came into contact with a dead body also renders one ritually impure in the same way, which means this ritual impurity is contagious. It can spread around, and everyone has it. It's not just some people. So the question for the Torah was, well, who has this? The Torah's answer was pretty much everybody, or the assumption is everybody. Therefore, this is a ritual not for a private individual, meaning you can opt in or you can opt out, check the box. Does this apply to you? The answer was, we're just going to do it for everybody. Keep that thought in your head. Related thought two. We often call Judaism as a religion of the living. Look at the name of our temple again, not the Kehillah part, which means community, but the next word, Chaim, life, community of life. We're down the road from Eitz Chaim, a tree of life. You can find all sorts of synagogues all over the place that have the word Chaim in it. Right now, you can't see it. I'm wearing a necklace. It's got a double Chai on it, which means double life. When we give money to charity, 18. Why? Because Chai, if A equals B or A equals 1 and B equals 2 and C equals 3, Hebrew math says the Chai equals 18, according to the same principle. So 18 because that is as though we're giving life. Life comes up all over the place. Judaism's not a religion that focuses so much. Sometimes we can't help it, but it's not a religion that asks us to focus all the time on dying. For example, what's going to happen after we die? Are we going to go to heaven? Are we going to go to the other place? Judaism is much more about living this life well, living this life the best we can. However, death is unavoidable, and it gets in the way of that. And that perhaps is what the ritual of Shabbat Parah is all about. That red heifer and the ritual that went along with it to ritually cleanse the congregation. Death can sometimes be paralyzing, not just for, I'm not talking about the person who dies, I'm talking about the people around them. We can't always focus on anything else. And as we enter into Passover, Passover, if anything, is a holiday about the hope that lies ahead. It's the story about how our ancestors were leaving slavery and going to the promised land to build a new life for themselves. That focus on a new life, that's really what our tradition is asking us to focus on. The possibilities that lie ahead. We think of Rosh Hashanah as the new year, and it's literally what it means, head of the year. But it happens in the 7th month of the year, not the 1st month of the year. We have 6 other New Years, but we have another new year. There we go. We have another new year, which comes around with Passover. The month of Nisan is the first month in the Hebrew calendar, month 1, the equivalent to January. It's not the time that marks the creation of the world, but it is the time that marks the creation of the Jewish people as a free people marching towards their promised land, marching towards our promised land. And as we enter into that first month of the year, as we look forward to whatever promised land we hope lies ahead, our tradition with Shabbat Parah says that we must find a way to help us to focus on the life before us, the life that we're called upon to live. Shabbat Shalom. Continue now with announcements, and representing the board tonight is Sam Deitch.
Shabbat Shalom. Save the date, Saturday, April 12th, for our first night family-friendly Passover Seder. The details are in the weekly email and on the website. After the service, please return your prayer books to me or anyone else that'll take them. Thank you so much to Amy Deitch's team for contributing tonight's donate treats. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Yes. Great, thank you. Book club this Sunday, 1 o'clock in the boardroom. Thank you. Please rise. We continue on page 282 with Aleinu. We're going to begin at the middle of the page 282. Then we're going to flip to 284 and then 287. So 282, 284, 287. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tek gedula liotzer b'reishit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שבונות השמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים Hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu efezulato, kakatuv betorato, v'yadat hayom v'hashevota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, bashamayim mimal, Ve'al haaretz mitachat enod. Ve'nemar ve'haya Adonai Lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad. Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo echad. Please remain standing. We continue in our prayer books on page 289. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision, or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love are we comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. We're in a period of Shloshim for Kenneth B. Reisenfeld, brother of Linda Greenhill, and for Ariel Eisenberg. We are also remember those who have died this season in years past, and we are observing yahrzeit for Evelyn Levine, Gertrude Lefkowitz, Bernice Polikoff, Augustine Bressler, Myrna Barg, Jerome Gaines, Richard Dennis, William Gold, Bessie Zeff, Joe Schifolo, and Florence Hirschman. If anyone else would like to share a name with us, someone who died either recently or at this time in years past, I invite you to say their name out loud as I come around the room. We remember those names that we've drawn into our hearts with our own Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. We continue with Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, b'gala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehe shemei rabah mevorach leolam almei almaya, yitzbarach v'ishtabach v'yitzba'ar v'yitromam v'yitznaseh, Vita dar, vita le, vita lal, shmei de kedusha, brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran belma v'imru amen, yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu vel kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and the whole world, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated. Page 5. Page 4 first, actually. We'll get to page 5. Kiddush, before we start, a word about Kiddush. Kiddush means sanctification, related to the word Kaddish, by the way, and Kadosh and Kiddushin. Kiddushin is a wedding ceremony, marriage. But sanctification, what we're sanctifying is not the wine. It's actually juice because I'm not a big fan of Manischewitz, so I get juice. But it's not the blessing over the wine or the juice. Kiddush is the sanctification of Shabbat. We use a celebratory drink, usually wine, but sometimes something else, anything celebratory, because Shabbat's meant to evoke joy and happiness. And somebody a long time ago drew a small connection between wine and happiness. And they said, if Shabbat's supposed to make us happy, we need a symbol for that happiness. How about wine? And there was very little dissent in that conversation. So wine comes along with it as a symbol of the happiness, the joy that we're supposed to experience on Shabbat. We say Borei Peri Hagafen because we're consuming wine or juice or something of the like, but really that's one line out of a much longer section. And the much longer section is all about Shabbat. Kiddush is not the blessing over wine. Kiddush is not the blessing over juice. Kiddush is not Borei Peri Hagafen. Kiddush, if anything, is that last line. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh. Mikadesh has that same root as Kiddush. Mikadesh HaShabbat. Blessed are you, God, who sanctifies Shabbat. We remember Shabbat. We honor Shabbat as we continue with Kiddush, page 4 and 5. Vahi erev vahi voker yom hashishi. There was evening and morning, the sixth day. Vayahulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam. Vayachal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa. Vayishpot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa. Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i v'kadesh oto ki vo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitchanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ava uvratzon Hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Okay, closing song time. I'd like to give, a vote. I'm going to give a vote between three very traditional closing songs, and they're all within a couple pages of each other. Here are your choices. Adon Olam, Ein Kelohenu, or Yigdal. These are all very traditional closing songs. More importantly, they're ones that I know the melody to. All in favor of Adon Olam, please raise your hand. Ein Kelohenu. I think that might be a majority. Yigdal. One. Okay, good. Another time. What do we say? Ein Kelohenu? Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Page 322. Mich Elohenu, Mich Adonenu, Mich Kemalkenu, Mich Moshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.